Hey guys, welcome to the Source Gaming Discussion. I am your host, Epic Martin 7, and today I am joined by the one and only Liquid.
Hi.
And today we are going to do a discussion on the pros and cons of Smash speculation. So this discussion is going to be unique because it's a relatively hot topic within the Smash community. You know, who's going to be the next fighter in Super Smash Bros., whether Smash Bros. 6 comes out or a unlikely spin-off happens, or it doesn't matter. You know, people are going to speculate no matter what. And it's either, there's just so many catalysts within the community on how speculation goes. It can go either way. So basically, we're going to reflect on our experiences with Smash speculation, and then we're going to go into details on the pros and cons of that. So Liquid, first of all, how did you get into the Smash community, and how was it speculating about Smash Brothers?
I joined Smashboards in mid-2015. No, it wasn't 2015. 2014. I joined just as Pac-Man and Palutena and the Mii Fighters were revealed. So I kind of joined late into the speculation for the fourth game, and everyone was still hot over the Gematsu leak. Fun times.
Definitely.
Fun in quotes.
Yup. Yeah.
And well, I still remember myself getting invested into all the Mewtwo theories since he was my most wanted character at the time.
Mm-hmm.
How times have changed.
Yeah.
I don't remember much, admittedly. I'd have to go back and re-look at some of my older posts from that time.
When it comes to my experiences in the Smash community, I actually joined as the DLC speculation was starting. I joined Smashboards probably around January of 2015. Already knew of Smashboards at the time. Project M actually got me into the Smash scene, believe it or not, so props off to the PMDT. But I got there and I just, kind of snooped around. I was really curious to see what was there, and I stumbled upon the Smash 4 social thread, and there wasn't really that much speculation there. It was more of just casual conversation, so I didn't really get to experience it until February of that year with the infamous Rayman leak everyone knows about, But anyways, I actually got invited to the leaks group. I didn't even know that existed beforehand, so I was like, ooh, a new group, that's kind of cool. So I was, I think, 15 at the time, and I get invited, and the only time I heard about the Rayman leak was through threads that were being locked on the Smash 4 part of Smashboards, because the leaks thread was the only place you could talk about it. So I got invited to there, and I was just thinking of all the possible theories and why could the leak have happened and such, and it really started my path onto getting into character speculation. I have an interesting perspective because when it comes to Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS, there wasn't really characters I wanted for the game. My video game history consists of mainly wrestling games and a little bit of Spyro and Crash. So what I really want, John Cena to be in Smash. I mean, come on, really? Like, I'm being serious. So I didn't really have anything to base it off of. But what was really fun though was talking to others who were passionate about the same thing, and just discussing, okay, who could be next? What could we have in store? And it was just that really drove me to pursue Smash a little bit more. It was just fun seeing the crazy mind of Sakurai, the enigma of that man, and just to see, okay, how did he choose the roster? Which characters are going to go into next? And arguably, I think the DLC period was the craziest because we saw a lot of third-party characters that we thought weren't possible. So it was really a fun ride, my first time around. But I guess that allows us to kind of dive into speculation itself and why it's so fun. So we're not gonna lie, we have some notes right by us. So we have 3 pros and 3 cons, and we're gonna kind of discuss them. We're gonna go with the pros first, and then the cons, which are a bit more controversial, we'll tackle later. So I guess, Liquid, we can start with you. The first one we have written down is analytical satisfaction. Now, technically meaning that at face value, that might not mean much, but if you break it down, all it means is it's fun to speculate, you know? It's really fun. So, did you have fun speculating? I mean, was that a fun thing that attracted you to Smash?
When I joined for the latter half of the initial game's release, I mean, I admittedly found a lot of joy in being surprised at what happened, except for when Mewtwo initially did not happen. Those were some rather sad memories, but we're past that.
Yep.
But when the DLC came around, it was fun to see what could happen. I mean, even the infamous Omni leak when that came around, it was fun to see, oh my god, did this actually happen? But no. Stuff like that just makes you more hyper aware of what could possibly happen. You get more perceptive. You start weeding out things that don't make sense and start analyzing everything that comes around. And that type of information, I find, is kind of interesting to organize and to try and determine who could possibly get in.
Right, exactly. I mean, arguably too, if you think about it, there was always that satisfaction too of, oh my gosh, I predicted the character. I'm the best in the world. Exaggeration, obviously, but it kind of goes into detail of, oh my gosh, I actually predicted this character. It's satisfying saying, okay, there's a build up to, alright, I expect this character, this is the reason why, this is the signs that potentially could lead to this character joining. And then when that character joins, it's like, oh my gosh, I have the world on my entire back and I'm just feeling proud. You have that sense of rush, Again, metaphorically, you do, but it's still fun to just, be the one to predict at some point, be the one to be right at some point. It's human nature to be right, but especially in a video game where everyone is passionate about these characters, so you're just like, oh my gosh, I did something awesome. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Liquid?
Yeah, I would, considering that I'm still fanboying over my certain character, and considering that I may perhaps be proven right in the future. Not to brag about that, who knows, we'll have to see. I mean, that's kind of fun to think about. Just don't take it too far.
Well, yeah, we'll actually get into that later. But the second one we have is socializing with community members, which, I mean, is always a good thing in any community, because when you have a group of people, you get the chance to meet others. And Liquid, honestly, you and me, or you and Push, or me and Push, or anyone on the Source Gaming team wouldn't have met without Smash Speculation. I mean, I think we can both, nod our heads to that. It's without Speculation, Source Gaming would have never been formed, and our mission to curb misinformation wouldn't have been there. So we have to thank that for our existence, essentially.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not just Source Gaming. I mean, I have several other groups which have been a result of Smash Speculation, some of who have been my friends for at least, 3 years now? It's just a long string of events that eventually leads you to form some of the closest friends you may ever have, and online at least. And looking back, it's something that you never imagined to be possible, and all over just speculating, oh, is a character going to appear in the fighting game?
Right. I mean, basically it means that, you get that sense of meeting different kinds of people, people you've never really met before. So it's really neat just socializing with all kinds of groups, and it's just, that's what it's all about. And I think it ties in really well. I think these both points tie in very well with the last point we have, and it's about having fun. I mean, video games as a form of entertainment are essentially our getaway. It's our transportation to a world to get away from the real world. But it's all about having fun and having the experience of a lifetime. And video games have the advantage of also, being a good catalyst in the real world too, because, not only can you have fun playing the game, but you can also have fun, meeting different people. You can have fun speculating what new content is coming. Or, heck, you could, since social media is prominent now, you can actually, ask the developers, whether they're open or not, certain questions about, okay, what is this mechanic like, or what was your design choice when making this game? It's open-ended now with the internet, so definitely having fun ties into all three, and it definitely adds to the experience even more. I mean, not to ask too much, but what is one experience, Liquid, that you think you had fun in more than playing Smash Brothers?
None, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of any other one.
Alright. That, I mean, again, experiences vary, so I think it's naturally how you perceive it. I think a lot of us, we play video games, obviously, for fun, but most of the time it won't be more than playing a video game, but there's just still that additional sense of enjoyment just from speculation.
Mm-hmm.
So now I guess we can transition to, I would arguably say, the good stuff, and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, obviously the list is right in front of you, but so first of all, we're gonna give a disclaimer. We are not hampering on anyone's opinions. We are Source Gaming. We try to be direct as possible, but we're not trying to stir any controversy. This is not controversial material necessarily, but it might still get people, I guess, riled up, and we don't want that. We want a nice gaming environment because it's all about having fun at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the first con that we have is, I guess we can simplify the term and call it overpassionate aggression. Now, that seems just at face value harsh, but if you dig deep into it, all it means is Smash is a game that is built upon characters, upon different franchises. Like, for example, Rivals of Aether, right? A game that has original characters, you wouldn't worry about who gets in or not. There's only a couple guest characters in that game, so it's not, you wouldn't worry about, okay, who's this fighter and who's not. Smash Brothers, on the other hand, is a whole different ball game. You have like some of the most iconic characters of video game history, and considering the game's fan base is a mixture of a bunch of different fan bases and the competitive community, you can get some really, I wouldn't say hot-headed people, but there's just a lot of tension within the community, because they tend to take an opinion at face value. So, I mean, wouldn't you agree with this, Liquid, that essentially people tend to debate over characters too much?
Well, yeah, and that's what passion does. It makes you more willing to defend your character against whatever odds are presented to them, because at some point, I mean, for those who are more impassioned and less, I mean, not to insult anyone, but probably thinking a lot less, it probably becomes more a matter of, oh my god, you have spoken against my character, therefore you must die. Obviously that's hyperbole, but
right,
that's kind of the thing you come to expect when you're discussing things with people who are probably way more passionate than you are.
Right. I mean, that's exactly when you're dealing with that, you tend to just to get, and I guess some sort of mojo where it's like, oh, my character can't do any wrong and he's definitely gonna get in, because when you're attached to a video game character, hell breaks loose. I'm just gonna say that, hell breaks loose. When you grew up with a video game and you're like, I want that character in Smash Brothers, and then someone's like, and I don't see their chances being that good, you just tend to outlash at them because you think they're attacking your character, when in actuality they're just listing their chances and their own opinion. So there's a difference between opinion and fact, which actually goes into our second point. I mean, wouldn't you agree that opinion and fact aren't the exact same thing?
Right, and people tend to distort opinions when it suits them just to try and spin them into facts. I mean, which is understandable to a degree because, well, when stuff becomes ingrained into you, perhaps in an echo chamber, who knows? Not trying to judge anyone here, but when that sort of stuff happens, it tends to distort the fine line between reality and imagination, to put it one way. I mean, you can hold an opinion, but you should try to be as objective as possible when discussing someone's chances.
Right. I mean, when you have the raw data in front of you, but your opinion clouds it, there's a little bit of distortion in there, and that's where a lot of discussions tend to get heated, because you're using an opinion to back up your argument, when in actuality the argument is your opinion. So you're trying to use an opinion to back up your opinion. It just doesn't work that way, and it never has.
Right.
So, and the extreme part about that, the extreme side, is what we're trying to curb, and it's the final point in the cons category, is misinformation to push your viewpoint. Over, I don't know how many decades, Smash has been very, very prone to misinformation, mainly because of the cultural barrier between Japan and the United States, basically, in the language barrier too, mainly the language barrier, but basically there hasn't been a lot of translators when it came to Smash Brothers, so you got things like people saying a Wolf was going to be in Melee or Pit was going to be in 64, when in actuality those both weren't even the case. And people actually use those to defend their arguments, which is the worst part. We do not want that. So when we came along, we tried to kind of curb that, and it's a bad thing to do. It's a bad habit to even perform, and it's definitely something you need to avoid. For you, Liquid, I mean, you support Stylux. You wouldn't use misinformation to back up your character, right?
No, I mean, sure, I'm probably the face of the character. Not trying to brag here, but I wouldn't go so far as to say, oh my God, this JPEG of a new game is announced, so he's obviously confirmed for the next Smash Brothers. No, of course not. I'm gonna be honest when debating my character. I'm not gonna say, oh my God, now he's totally gonna get in. No, I have to consider everything that's come up, all the information that's come apart in regards to how the roster is selected, when it's selected, how a character could possibly miss their chances, and I've taken all that into account whenever the topic comes up in any other community that I'm in, because people tend to get ahead of themselves when discussing characters, not just Stylux, and of course I want to be honest. I don't want to lie to myself, much less to others.
Right, as they say, honesty is the best policy. I mean, the more that you're honest, the more that you're truthful, the more reality will shed light on itself. And that's what we want, honestly. We want to be truthful. We want to say, okay, what actual chances does this character hold right now? And we're not, personally for me, I'm not saying to be overly pessimistic. We're just saying reality check, basically. We don't want people to get hyped up so much that they're disappointed. That is the wrong way to go about it, because most of the time when people overhype themselves and they get disappointed, they blame it on the developers or they blame it on others, which is what creates the hostility in any community for any regard. So being moderate is the best bet, but still getting excited is the fun part of any speculation group, specifically Smash Brothers, but there just needs to be a fine line of expectations.
Right, exactly.
So do you have any final thoughts, Liquid?
Well, I hope people have learned from the chaos that was the last DLC period for Smash, and I mean, if a new game gets announced, perhaps next E3 or something, I mean, I hope people will go into it with a more critical mind. But obviously, you can't convince everyone to try and be moderate. You have to try and move as many minds as you can, and everyone's better off for it.
Those have never been truer words. Just saying. So, anyways, I do have one more final thought. Goku will be in the next Smash confirmed, obviously. Because I am scrapping everything I said. I am overexciting myself. So, yeah. I am overexciting myself.
Of course you are.
Yes. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Don't listen to good old me. I tend to change my mind every single day of my life, so yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages, including our Facebook and Twitter accounts. Be sure to also support us on Patreon to receive exclusive perks. We're also campaigning for Goku. I mean, push Dustin to be in Smash. Excuse me. All of our social media pages will be in the description below. Including Liquid's, my own personal one, and the Source Gaming Twitter. We hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.
Ciao.